we were the YouTube moms that all came together and everybody blew up, who all collabed with each other. So I feel like we kind of realized the secret sauce was don't compete, collaborate. And that week I got emails with collaborations with brands that would have doubled what my salary was in my safe, secure, comfy job. And I was like, all right, God gave me a message loud and clear. So I quit and did YouTube full time.
Welcome back to another episode of the Chats with Clark podcast. I'm your host, Joe Clark, and here at Chats with Clark, we don't do poppy intros. We get straight to the point. And the point of today's episode, episode 81, is Brianna Koehler, who is the former Miss North Royalton, previously a talent acquisition expert for the CMSD, the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, a beloved YouTube content creator focused on the realms of motherhood, home decor and organization, and life hacks, penned as the first working mom on YouTube, and an overtly proud mama of three. Brie, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I mean, you picked the most beautiful location for us to do this.
I was going to ask you about that because this is actually your idea. So talk to me a little bit of why we're here. Set the scene for us.
So I believe when you put yourself in the place where you feel like your best, most elevated version of yourself, magic happens. And whenever I have gotten up every single day when I used to live in Hawaii and watch the sunrise or make sure I'd take my kids to the beach to watch the sunsets, Huntington Beach here is one of our favorites to do that. I feel like it just helps us all kind of reconnect with God or whatever higher power you believe in and allows you to see the magic happen in your life.
It's so vast. It always blows my mind. Like when you look out to the horizon, you never see the end. And the fact that the sun is just going, and then when it disappears, like where is it? Like that part of it messes with me so much that it taps into that big, divine, grandiose feeling.
That's kind of, that's the vibe.
Well, thanks for picking this. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better scene here than being here at the sunset. And Brie, while we're talking about the divine, what would you say is the best thing that there is to know about you?
Best thing that there is to know about me? I would say that I'm somebody who just has never given up. Doesn't really matter what kind of challenges life throws my way. I don't quit.
How did you develop that never quit attitude? Because as a child, I feel like the nature is to either run away or not tap into that adversity, but maybe to deviate from it.
I feel it's just been part of my belief in if there's something I really, really want, and I feel like God put it on my heart, I should work as hard as I can to try to make that happen. I feel like even back in 7th grade, this is kind of, I feel like a story of maybe where it started. I didn't make the cheerleading squad, and my heart, my whole childhood growing up was I wanted to be a cheerleader.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So when I didn't make the squad, so upset. But I talked to all my friends who had, and they were like, well, the bear mascot who wears the North Royalton bear costume attends all the cheerleading practice to learn the cheers. And I'm like, well, that's the best way that I can ensure I make the team next year because I'll have known all the cheers and the dances and kind of have a leg up. So I dressed in the bear costume every basketball game and did all the cheers and dances with the cheerleaders so that I could make the team the next year and was fortunate enough to also be captain. So I think that kind of just probably is a story that tells you a little bit about my personality. It might not be the normal way, but I'll figure out how to get it done.
It's almost impressive to me or it strikes me that it's almost more impressive to be able to do it in a bear suit than to do it just not in a bear suit.
Oh, it was so hot. It was so hot. I used to run outside in the snow, put my head in the snow, and then put the head back on.
That really makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just suffocating in there, but all the other cheerleaders are not. And then you're in there doing everything that they're doing, but in a bear costume.
I was very happy the next year.
Yeah, it tracks that you made it as the captain for the next year. Brie, I was diving into you and kind of studying you as I do before all this, which is like the most wild statement, right? But,
okay.
But yeah, I was intrigued by your blogs, right? So I wanted to read something from it and just have you kind of touch on it. You noted that you write these blogs and make videos to, quote, empower others. And I was curious, Brie, what does empowering others look like to you?
I really believe that we should take our time here on this earth to leave it better than we found it. And so to me, if I can help somebody else recognize how to use their God-given gifts to do something really cool and also leave this world better than they found it, that's how I want to live.
I've always felt like those are the parts for me as a Christian that are the most Christ-like. Like the ways in which we bring Christ to others or the ways that we are like God are the ways and things that come naturally to us and just in ways that we excel, almost seemingly not haphazardly, but again, naturally.
Yeah.
Like those are the ways to me that we can touch people the most.
Yeah.
So I can relate to that.
Have you ever heard of this Japanese term called ikigai?
What is it?
Ikigai?
I don't think so.
Okay. So if you imagine a Venn diagram with 4 circles, so instead of 2, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And one circle is your God-given talent. It's what you're talking about, like the gifts that are almost your superpower. The other circle is what you jump out of bed for. You're like, I would get up at 4 a.m. every day. I'm so excited to do that. I'm so passionate about it. It's what I love to talk about. I could talk about it all day long. And then the other circle is how you can help the world be a better place. And then the final circle is how you can make money. So in Japan, it's the thing they teach the children is if you discover your ikigai, it's kind of that phrase, you never work a day in your life, but you're also fulfilling higher power, God, whatever it is, purpose, and getting to do something that you just
That's
love
brilliant.
so much. Yeah.
It's so
I
organized.
feel like but that's what I mean. So I feel like until you learn that concept, I love helping people. When I had my YouTube course and I was teaching other women how to have an online business and how to use YouTube and social media for their business, I'd start with that as lesson 1 because I'm like, you're going to burn out doing this unless it's about something you're really passionate about and you're combining that with what your God-given talents are, and then it's easy to monetize it from there and help other people learn about what your passion is or learn because of this God-given talent or skill that you have. Yeah.
Pri, the way you're describing this is seamless for you. Again, it's something that seems like it's very well practiced, and then also that it comes naturally to you. This organizational mindset is clearly a strength of yours.
You could say, yeah, I think that's probably one of my God-given talents that I was born with.
Yeah, I mean, if you peruse your YouTube, you notice that a lot of it is organizing, a lot of it is making things look better than they originally were, or all of those sorts of ideas. So it definitely is a consistent theme for you.
Is that what the book title would be, Joe?
Organization? Or, yeah, what were you thinking with it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, maybe like, so it's bits of Brie, like bits of Brie. I'll get back to you on this.
Okay.
Give me by the end of the episode. I might have a better answer for you as far as what this book title will be. And if you think of one, please, by all means. You're putting me totally on the spot here, Brie. To take it back a little bit, Brie, we mentioned both your time as Miss North Royalton, and also, again, I was kind of noting a little bit of your ability to teach. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about this pageantry world. I want to start there. And then I feel like it's going to be a natural segue into the college, journalism, rest of your life here.
Yeah.
So you were in the pageantry world.
Yeah, it was something my mom had me do from the time I was really young. I think both my parents always presented me with opportunities, whether it was pageants or in 7th grade, I was also on a local cable TV show. I think they just recognized, and I watched the old home videos, I was a little bit of a ham, even at like 2, dancing in front of the camera. So I think they just saw that I could connect via camera, which not everybody can. Mm. As I'm sure you know from even interviewing people, some people it's very easy and they're not nervous, and other people get very nervous in front of a camera. And I don't know why. I've never really gotten nervous, but yeah, I feel like the pageant world really did teach me valuable skills about how as a businesswoman and professional, I learned how to dress, I learned how to do my makeup, I learned how to do my hair. I was constantly, that was my favorite thing to do backstage, was ask all the girls for their tips and tricks and make friends and help each other. And I felt like for me, it was never really about competing. It was more about collaborating and getting to know other really cool women who are participating in it. And yeah.
That's fascinating. I feel like that world especially would be cutthroat. I mean, I think of like...
There's some girls that are, but if you kind of embrace it as that, you enjoy it a lot more. It's a lot more fun.
Sure, yeah. It's, again, great connection for the way that you do empower women. So for you to take it that way and then to be able to turn it into an empowering situation is perfectly fitting.
Yeah.
When I look at it, too, I think that subliminally, you do learn how to present yourself in a way that is effective or in a way that is received well by others. How important is it to be able to display yourself in a confident and well put together way?
Well, and I think especially now in today's world with how much forward-facing every person is on their social media and profiles. And I mean, I think back then that wasn't even a thing. You kind of just were doing it for that moment of time on stage, whereas now kind of every day is a stage for people who are creating content online or who are posting even their day-to-day family life. So yeah, I think it it was an invaluable skill for what the world has become back then. I mean, even in high school, I couldn't have ever said to you, oh, I want to be a YouTuber someday, because it didn't exist. So
for people that are maybe not in the content creation world, what would be your piece of advice towards that aesthetic?
like that they want to break into it.
No, for people who, because I do agree that while the cameras are on us, it's important to be presentable, look great, but I think it stems even past that. Like, I think that it's a great reflection of who we are to put ourselves out there in a way that is cohesive and looks well put together. So for other people, maybe how would you advise them in that realm or validate the importance of it?
Okay, I get what you're asking. Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks for reframing the question. I think that every person has their own unique beauty and style, and that's where I would encourage lean into that for yourself. For example, some people look really great in red, other people don't. One of the most valuable things I actually ever did was a color analysis where they analyzed like your skin and your hair and your eyes. And that helped me so much, just because then even in your day-to-day life, you just look so much better and more youthful and energized. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get superficial about it, but I do think you can come across more as who you are and what you bring to the table if someone isn't distracted because you didn't know the right outfit to wear, you didn't do your hair the right way, or your makeup looks weird or something along those lines. So I do feel like it is important to present yourself for the best possible opportunities in your life. So
one of those opportunities for you, you win Miss North Royalton. Where does the pageantry world go from there as you're kind of going through the ranks and then eventually heading into that college where you go to OU, you study journalism, life's progressing?
Well, it's so funny. You remind me so much of my dad because he loved bringing that up, and he's been gone like 7 years now. So the fact that you bring it up, I'm like, oh my gosh. But no, I think like where I kind of then went into journalism.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about this transition. So you transition from the pageantry world into college.
Yeah.
You decide to study the journalism, and then eventually we'll dive into your education piece of it too, because I know that's coming down the line.
Well, I knew going into journalism school, part of the reason I really wanted to do it is I would love watching the Olympics and how they would feature the stories of the athletes and sort of what they overcame to get there. And I just thought that would be one of the coolest jobs, is to interview the families and the athletes or whatever people kind of that you get to interview in the broadcast journalism world. So I thought that would be so fun. That's why I wanted to do broadcast journalism, was to tell other people's stories. And obviously, pageant world gave me public speaking skills, how to present myself, that it was really fun when I started doing reporting in college and actually being on the local TV station there.
As you progressed through, your broadcasting ended up with you in the education world. You traveled to Baltimore from OU, down in Athens, Ohio, over to Baltimore, of all places, right? It's wild to go from Ohio to Baltimore. It's kind of like rivalry. Well, I guess Cleveland really and Baltimore are rivalry cities. So fascinating tie-in
I
there.
would. You'll laugh at this. So I would still wear my Browns jersey every Sunday in Baltimore.
Love it.
I would get ripped on, and I'd be like, well, you're the Browns in purple.
Exactly. That's great.
Time,
That's tremendous. So while you were there, you're working in their metropolitan school system.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that experience. I would imagine that would be quite eye-opening to go into a dynamic of difficulty and to play such an integral role there.
Well, it's funny because you had me say this earlier. Kind of, I think part of my story was I might not be able to take the direct path to do it, but even if it was a hard path, I was going to figure it out. And to me, that's kind of a little bit my story. As the first person in my family to go to college, the students that I was teaching, that would have been their journey too. So I really enjoyed kind of giving them that encouragement of, here's somebody who was once in your shoes, so you could do this too. And it was a beautiful experience. Like, I got to coach the cheerleading squad while I was there, and I had so much fun. And I was always involved in the after-school activities. And yeah, it was really, really great being able to make sure the quality of education I received from North Royalton, which at the time I didn't realize how privileged I was to get such a good public education. And then when I got to my school in Baltimore and they didn't have one class set of novels, and I did basically a GoFundMe where all these people donated to my classroom so that I could have a library of books, so that I could get class sets of novels, so that I could take the kids on field trips. And it was, to your point, very eye-opening to see the disparity of the public school that I feel so lucky that I got to attend, that got me to college, and then the quality they were getting. I was like, no, we've got to change this. And so, yeah, it was a lot, but I really appreciated the community that all kind of surrounded.
Bree, when you're in an environment too, when you really start recognizing all the blessings that you have, I think it compels us all the more to want to give back too. And when you're teaching 7th grade English in Baltimore in the inner city, and you're starting GoFundMes, doing everything you can to bring any resources possible to make it so these students can have, again, a better impact on their lives or a better outlook on their lives than they did prior to you getting there. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. It's natural then that you transition into your work with Teach for America, which for our audience is a group that focuses on injustice across the country. And I mean, you could speak to it better than I can, but ultimately tries to bridge the gap between those receiving adequate teaching and those not, ultimately. And the resources are a big one in that too. So your work for Teach with America, mm-hmm. Teach for America.
Teach for America, yeah.
What was your role, and how did you get it so that you could make an impact, again, and make it better than you found it?
I worked as a recruiter initially, so I was going to college campuses and finding students with the right skill set to join the program. And then eventually I was managing the larger recruitment team, so training recruiters to kind of do what I had been doing. And I love that. I got to travel all around the country. I got to see and meet so many really cool people who, I mean, it was almost kind of like sitting down for podcast interviews all throughout the day, because I would get to learn their life story. I would get to learn what drove them. I didn't know the ikigai term back then, but it was sort of the similar thing of, I would be like, okay, well, here's how I think these skills can translate into you being a really great teacher. Your passion for biology could translate to being a really great biology teacher for these kids before you go off to med school. And so it was really fun to kind of get to meet people and see if it was, I would never force it, but see if it was the right fit. And if it was, help them kind of through the process and to do the same thing, because ultimately that's the goal. Like, I'm one person, but collectively, if everybody kind of chips in, just like they did for my one classroom, but if everybody's chipping in to kind of right-size education in this country, you could see a big impact in a lot of communities and
there's a
country
big need for it.
Yeah.
There's a big need for it.
Yeah.
It's alarming how many people can not read if you really dive into the numbers. Like as they go through the years, it's mind-boggling how many.
I mean, literacy is, yes, it's huge.
Yeah, it's insane. Like for our audience, like when you're done with the episode 81 and you start looking into this, you'll be blown away. So it's ridiculous. But sorry, again, deviating here. But so what I find fascinating too is that throughout your career, you keep focusing on relationships, right? Like it's you're plugged into situations where you're the relationship builder. And in your role for Teach for America, you're able to look at a skill and say, hey, this skill that X person has would be really useful in this field. Yeah. That like headhunter style is important, right? Like, I don't know, how were you able to do that in such a short time? Like, how are you going in and recognizing that and then being able to know where they're gonna go?
Well, I think it's kind of goes back to a lot of the skills and experiences that I had. If you want to go back even to the pageant world, I would do a little background on the judges. I would read all the judges' bios, and I would find the ways that when I was asked a question on stage or in the one-on-one interviews, I could connect to something that they'd done or connect to something that where they were from or some kind of experience. Same way within the students that I would be talking to for recruitment. I would be looking at their LinkedIn. At the time, Instagram wasn't as big, but I'd look at their Facebook profiles, or I would see if they were in any of the organizations that people already talked to. And I had no problem reaching out and being like, hey, Joe's in your fraternity too. Like, can you tell me a little bit about him? And just kind of know going into it, just a little vetting where things I could make connections to. So I feel like that is a life skill that maybe has come a little more naturally. But I think if you start practicing that, you'll realize, oh, wow, it kind of makes any form of business or relationships go a lot smoother when you can get people to talk about themselves. That's the name of the game right there. Everybody loves to talk about themselves.
Yeah. Sales 101.
And then you can solve their problem. That's really it. It's kind of figuring out what their problems are. Even as a recruiter, I could quickly tell you, based on what their concerns were about maybe doing it, even if they were really interested. If it was like, oh, my mom and dad will not let me take 2 years off. I have to go to law school. And I would be like, well, I'm actually happy to, like, if your mom and dad want to have a call with me and I can tell them my experience, like, I would always try to solve the problem, but you have to get them to talk to you to figure it out and make it work.
It's interesting to hear you talk about the preparedness. I think that's something that in the quick fix world has gone by the wayside a little bit.
That's
I think
interesting.
I don't think people are prepared for things. I think people patch up the holes after, right? Because you have endless information at your fingertips at any given moment. So instead of studying it beforehand, why would you do that if you can study it that afterthought, right? When you're in the moment, you can figure it out like that. So I don't think that people spend the time studying it. How would you validate the idea of being prepared for anything that you're going into? To hear you say that as a staple in your life, it makes me ask you that question.
How would I validate?
Yeah, like why is that worth the while as opposed to saying in the moment of whatever you're dealing with, I could fix this on the spot. You vetted them all before you got there.
I mean, to me, that's just the winning strategy. I don't think I would have won Miss North Royalton if I hadn't seen what the judges were interested in and made sure I made connection. But I don't even want it to sound like it's strategic or manipulative. To me, that's the point of why we're all here, is like we should be figuring out how we're connected to other people. And I might be jumping ahead in your questions a little bit, but that was one of my favorite things about living in Hawaii is nobody there. This is what's so cool. So different than here. What's one of the first things people ask you when they meet you here?
Yeah, what you do for work.
What do you do for work?
Yeah.
Not a single person asked me there what I did for work. It was, what do you like to do? Or where's your favorite beach? Or what's your favorite hike? Or it was, let's connect on the human level. Doesn't matter what your job is. Like, obviously, we all have to work to make a living, but there it's more about, like, how are we living? And I love that.
That is. That's the rationale for my first question in the pod, right? Is like, what's the best thing there is to know about you? Because you want to talk about yourself, it's like, put someone in the environment that they're like, actually, this is my favorite thing about myself, or this is the coolest thing about myself, and let's start at the top. Like, give me the best. Give me the meat and potatoes right off the rip.
But it's about living and connecting it back, having belief in the future, and that at any moment in time, if you're not happy, you can change things.
Let's get into it a little bit.
Okay.
Talking about this work piece, Bree, after all of these great roles you've had are said and done, you end up pregnant with your first child, again, mom of 3. So first child, when you go back to work, 2015, after your maternity leave, you post your first YouTube video. The title, right? Mom's first day back to work after maternity leave. I love it. It's accrued over 25,000 views, and it kickstarted.
Wrong direction too, by the way.
Yeah, it is vertical on a horizontal landscape. So, yes.
So that's why I really am a believer in the don't wait until everything is perfect. Just do it. Because if I hadn't posted that, do you know what if I had like held back and like, no, it would never have been what it was.
Connecting the dots for our audience, Bree knows her story. Again, this video, what we're about to dive into is that this video kickstarted her online content creation journey, particularly on YouTube. Again, it amassed over 25,000 views, and she's had ample videos in the time since 2015 do that. So I think that that's where she's going with this when she says, you don't have to wait for the perfect situation.
Yes, I tell every person, if it is on your heart, if God put it on your heart, you're supposed to do it. It's better done than perfect. But yeah, I'm so grateful that I just kind of started. I had no idea at the time I could make money. I was just simply doing it because when I was pregnant with Landon, my first, I watched, she's now one of my friends, her name's Anna Saccone, and she was one of the first YouTubers ever. And she did these pregnancy updates every week that were just so comforting because your body is changing and there's so many weird things happening. But then once I was going back to work, I couldn't find any moms who were working in that sense. All moms work, but like in an office or especially traveling for their jobs. So that's why I know I was like the first one making those videos at the time. But it was just because of that. It was like I went to college for broadcast journalism. I know how to edit videos. Her videos really helped me. Maybe I can help some other moms going through the same thing. And it was wild because I would write it in airports. There's these breastfeeding rooms in some airports. And so I would just write like, hey, here's my handle. I'm trying to connect to other moms doing this.
That's awesome.
And it just started booming. So yeah, that's also, I think it too is the timing, as I'll tell people, is it was the perfect timing. Because right now it's more saturated. Since no one was doing it, it didn't matter how perfect it was. It's like sometimes you just got to strike when the iron's hot, go with it. So
yeah, first working mom on YouTube started that day. You were able to develop a community right off the rip. I mean, for it to have received that kind of support initially is tremendous. I mean, again, to your point, YouTube wasn't what it is now then. How did you receive, or what was the feedback that you received, and how were you able to develop from there?
Honestly, it's so funny how many connections I'm making to what you're asking me, but it was the collaborating with other women, because it was like I connected with Anna. I mean, I stayed with her at her house. She's from the UK. I stayed with her house in the UK.
That's so
it was
cool.
Another mom who lived down in Columbus who was doing YouTube videos. Her and I connected, and then that's kind of how all of our channels blew up. There was a group of us that did this YouTube mom's trip to Vegas. And I laugh now because I think everybody else caught on. Like, there's a reason why the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they all did that on TikTok, and they always would talk about like, oh, we're mom talk. Again, I'm not trying to like brag here, but we did that first. We were the YouTube moms that all came together and everybody blew up, who all collabed with each other. Like, so I feel like we kind of realized the secret sauce was don't compete, collaborate. And then other people, once other platforms started doing the same thing.
I think it's a big part of it too, that people fail to recognize, like or like the whole Gary Vee idea, like you're you, and that's what's going to grab on. Like if you put the time into it and you're you put your flair onto it, then the whole group of moms that goes to Las Vegas together can all excel.
Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. So
as you were going through, you ended up having 2 more children, but then it stops. So now your YouTube is what it is. It's all been about motherhood up to that point. How did you know where to go from there?
Well, that organically started shifting. Obviously, being a mom has always been a part of it, but I moved to my new house. So I moved from Lakewood to the house. And so I started decorating it and kind of taking people along the process. And I think that was one of my highest viewed videos back then, was people asked for a house tour when I moved. And also, again, you just get lucky sometimes. There was another really popular YouTube couple who the same week moved to a new house, and we both posted house tours at the same time, and both our videos blew up.
That's awesome.
So it was like they're ping-ponging viewers back and forth to each other. So another just kind of lucky hit. And I will say YouTube is a bit of a roulette wheel. Sometimes you just happen to get lucky on a certain video or title or topic, and then you kind of got to realize, all right, this strokes the algorithm, and if I like doing it, I can keep doing it. But that's what happened. It kind of then turned into decorating, and moms wanted to know more. Well, like, how are you managing cleaning your house? How do you stay organized as, a busy working mom? And so I would just kind of make the videos of whatever questions people were leaving in the comments. I would try to make videos off of it.
That's perfect. Yeah, like the audience tells you. That's the whole idea of the customer tells you what they want.
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to give them what they want or not? The customer's telling you.
Yep.
I think as you go through it too, you end up getting in a stride and building that community, right? Like for you to have that support and people are interested, like no disrespect, don't really care about what other people's houses look like personally. For you to have built that up in someone to be like, man, I got to know what the inside of your house looks like. I mean, they're supporting you, right? Like you had an effective community at that point.
I have to tell you, to this day I do. This has been a community of women who, when I've gone through some really hard stuff, have sent me messages, emails, left wonderful comments, have sent me things in the mail. There's just been really beautiful show of support from the community, and I could not be more grateful, because that community has given me so many opportunities for my family, for my life, for my business. I'm forever grateful to every single person who's been a part of it.
Because of all those people, there had to be a sense of confidence that you knew, I have all these people supporting me, whether you personally knew them or not. But what were the other factors that allowed you to know, maybe I could dive fully into this, instead of perhaps leaving the safe job or whatever the case may be, so that you decided this could be my business?
Yeah, I hear this a lot of people feeling comfortable and they're afraid to take that leap. And I was feeling that, because I was a little bit like, I'm the breadwinner in the job that I have. If I leave that security of that regular paycheck every single month, I was scared. And that's where I prayed on it. And I very clearly said, God, thank you for giving me this opportunity. There was a lot happening at the time. I had 2 very little kids. My dad, who had multiple sclerosis, it had just taken like a really bad turn for the worse. And so I knew I wanted to have more time with my family than what my job would give me with all the travel that was required. So I did. I just prayed on it and was like, if I'm supposed to do YouTube, give me a sign. I prayed on it, and that week I got emails with collaborations with brands that would have doubled what my salary was in my safe, secure, comfy job. And I was like, all right, God gave me a message loud and clear. So I quit and did YouTube full time.
You had to scale then too, right?
By
doing that
there.
scales you. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's crazy.
Or you said, did it scare me?
No, I'm saying that had to scale you too. Like you get these brands that are like, hey, let's partner up and make this happen. Obviously the financial part's great, but the scalability from there is just like you're working with all these brands. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right when you need it the most. That's fascinating.
Yeah. So that's where I would say too, like, throw it out there. Like, he'll answer every single time.
It does have a way of coming back, right? I think people talk about it in manifestation. We're talking about it in the prayer sense. Whatever language you want to use for that idea, I think it's so real because when you do put it out there, then inherently we focus our energy towards it. Again, either subconsciously or not.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So what was it like from there? Now you dive in, your feet are no longer, you haven't dipped the toes in, you're in the deep end with it. What do you do to say, this is now my full-time gig to not burn out?
It was always really fun for me. And I feel like I would only do videos that I was excited about doing for the most part. I mean, here and there, I guess maybe I wasn't necessarily always like super excited to clean my house for the Clean With Me videos. But I would always feel really good afterwards. I say it's kind of like working out. Like, you might not really want to go to the gym, but once you're finished, you're like, I'm glad I did that for myself.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah, and I think too, then once I also got the messages from people of, I mean, I'm so grateful that they sent these to me because it did keep me going, especially during the really hard times when I was losing my dad, where I was just like, I don't want to do anything, you know, but I kept going. But I would get messages of like, you helped pull me out of depression, or like I had such bad anxiety, but because of like your tips and because I was able to get organized, I feel so much better now. So that kept me going too, because that was the whole point of why I started it. It was like, I just want to be able to help other people. So when you know you're doing that, it's just the best fuel for your fire.
It is. It's bigger than you, just like you wrote. It empowers others.
Yeah.
And then when you're that ripple effect, I'm blown away by that. I think it comes up in most podcasts where people are talking about doing something like the ripple effect's crazy. Like all these good people doing things like that. And now you have all these people in your corner who are doing things for other people in their corners. And it just goes.
Yeah. For sure.
You mentioned in the past, and I'm curious about this because it's almost contradictory, but you mentioned in the past that you were bullied for being smart. You put that in a couple interviews that you had done. It's fascinating that the one who gets bullied for being smart outsmarts all the bullies and comes up with this.
Is that what I've done?
Well, I would imagine. Like, I don't know, is it all the people that bullied you in the spot that you're in right now?
Well, and so this is what I say to my children, is there could be people, love and hate's a thin line. They might love you, or they might really dislike you because they're jealous or they see something in you that they wish they had in themselves. So unless that person has done whatever it is you want to accomplish, just throw it kind of to the side. They might love you, they might hate you. Don't take their words serious. Only take the words seriously from somebody who's done or is sitting in the seat where you want to sit, or is driving the car that you want to drive, or lives in the house that you want to live in, or does the job that you want to do, has the relationship that you want to be in. Because people all the time love to give their opinion. They love to think about things. I mean, I love it too. It's like, yeah, let's talk and have a deep conversation and get all philosophical, and it's fun. But unless I've done it, who am I to tell you what's right or wrong or what you should do? But if I've done it myself, then I'm willing to help. And that's what I would try to do with my YouTube course, right? I made so many mistakes, and I was like, if I could help other women not make these mistakes, like filming the video in the wrong direction and get their business kickstarted a lot faster than mine, would love to help. So
it is. It's immediate proof in the pudding when you've done it and then can offer your advice. People are like, it's there. I've seen it. I've seen the results. Let me be a part of it.
Yeah.
But taking it back a little bit, you've always had confidence, despite this, people trying to tear you down. You've had a confidence to put yourself out there from youth to now, still youth, but from literally being a child to now. You've had the confidence to put yourself out there. How do you navigate this negative criticism and use it as a fuel towards your betterment?
So I would say confidence is kind of what you're showing on the outside. It doesn't mean that you necessarily on the inside aren't scared or questioning yourself or self-conscious. Like, I had so many self-conscious things probably until my 30s around my body, and just kind of was letting, whether you say it's like the devil or, you know, just negative self-talk creep in. But I think, so what your question is, how did I take the negative comments and like the troll kind of stuff and not let it bother me?
Yeah, I think like people always receive negative comments in any world that they're in, but specifically when you put yourself out there, the more you put out there, the more you open the doors to people critiquing things, right? If you stay as a hermit, then of course it's less.
Right, and that's what's safe, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so I think it's to the same point though of if somebody's giving you negativity and criticism, if they haven't done what you've done, don't let it bother you. If you really boil it down to like, is this a truth? Is somebody telling me the truth? Sure, maybe, again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with constructive criticism and us trying to improve and develop and grow and make ourselves better. But unless that person is telling you it because they've done it themselves and are like, I've made the same mistake, I don't want you to make it. I think you just have to use, I guess like maybe that's a confident armor of kind of, you're only going to really listen to somebody who.
That's true. Yeah, you can kind of like ignore it, I guess, right? And like the more you do that, then the muscle.
And I think you have to, or you're never going to make that bold move. You could sit there all day long and just think of every single negative thing and never make the move and always be safe, or you can say, I'm not going to listen to the negativity and this is my life and I only get to live one time and I'm going to go for it. And the worst that happens is I fail. And I think sometimes people are so afraid of failing. And I'm like, failing is sometimes where you learn your best lesson, or mistakes you've made is then what gets you to an even greater point. It's kind of the arrow analogy of like the bow gets pulled back, but it springs you so much more forward in that little moment where you had a back step.
I'm sure throughout all of the videos, from originally starting vertically to then knowing that you needed it horizontally and so on, that there's endless, a lot of things too that people don't see are behind the camera, right? Like it's the moments that are failing are not necessarily outward, but it's like there's so much that goes into it, and that becomes part of it. Like,
well, that, and I think at the end of the day, we might respect people for certain things that it looks like they do perfectly, but we all know that even as perfect or as easy and as effortless, let's say the gymnast at the Olympics, that competition, that you're like, I could never do those flips, I could never do those things.
You could do it in a bear costume. Yeah.
I could try. No, I still couldn't. But we haven't seen the hours of their entire life that they have put in to get to that point. We just see it, and it's like so easy for you to be like, oh, this comes so naturally or so easy to them, whatever. So, like, they had to take that leap. They had to put in that work, and I think some people are just afraid of the effort and the energy and then not looking perfect. But most people like authenticity. Most people like to know, like, okay, they're human too. They're not perfect. And I think, yeah, just don't be afraid of that.
I think that's what started the whole vlog era, like, was that desire for authenticity, or even long form content like podcasts. Like, people that have a longing for the humanity of it, because when it's just the perfection, you're like, my day-to-day does not look like that all the time.
Well, and I think that's kind of what's beautiful about YouTube. That's so different than what all the other social channels have shifted to, this very short form, fast, you know, they want it boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
YouTube has always been more about the human connection of, it's a community. Like, people will ask for longer videos if I post something shorter. And I think kind of same thing with podcasts, is people really like to sit down and listen or watch and feel like, okay, hold on, this actually feels human, not just like quick entertainment.
I mean, Joe Rogan sits there for 3.5 hours, and people have watched him for thousands upon thousands of episodes. And like, he is one of the biggest, right? So it's there.
Yeah.
In the vein of that perfection, I think one of the struggles in content creation is the notion of being present. There's this dichotomy of being fully present and then also capturing what you need to capture in a moment. How do you balance the two of getting the shot that you need, but also being present? And I particularly would imagine that's difficult in having 3 children and doing it with them too, because one of the content pieces that I love, just to give you a quick second here and to throw a little love, is like, for Halloween, you're at the Rock Hall. I think it was 2024. You and the 3 kids, right? You're Stevie Nicks. One of them was Elvis, which my grandpa loved Elvis. That struck home. You had Taylor Swift, and you had MGK.
Yep.
Between the 4 of you, that
he
was
looked
amazing.
just like MGK.
That was incredible. The nail polish.
Oh, he had me gluing like diamonds on his nails the night before, because he had this inspo picture. And he nailed the inspo picture. He looked just like him.
We will have that. If you're looking at it right now on the pod, you know it's going to be on there.
Yeah, he looked great. But yeah, no, that's one of our family traditions, is every Halloween, we pick a theme for the whole family to do. And I love it. Even like their dad, who's getting remarried, both him and her do it too with all of us. So
that is cool.
Yeah, it's like a fun thing that we do every Halloween. But yeah, what was the point about it, though? You were saying about
Yeah. Well, So what's cool about that video was like, it wasn't so much you all doing whatever you did that night. It was more so like, we're going to take this video, we're going to all do our star moment. And so you could do that, have your video, but then also it seemed like you could be present in, again, whatever you all did that night.
Yeah.
So like, how do you balance getting the shot that you need and the being present?
Well, and especially as they've gotten older, I'm only like, if they're down to do something or if it's that was actually their idea to do it. So I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, you know, sounds fun to me. But if they aren't, like, you know, I'll kind of let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be filming. Sometimes they pop in because they're in the mood. Sometimes it's just me, and I've been fine with that. But yeah, I think to your point though, like, how do you keep it natural? Maybe this is a secret for somebody who, if you're just getting started or feel a little awkward in front of the camera, I never think of that as a camera. I actually think that it's my best friend that I'm talking to. And I'll look into like the little hole and I'll just be like, oh, it's like I'm talking to you right here. And I feel like that kind of helps keep it where I'm talking to an actual person who I kind of know how they'd be responding in the moment.
Yeah.
And then it makes it more, I guess, authentic or.
Absolutely.
And that's how I feel it is. My community are my friends. They're my online friends. I always joke like they're my kids' online aunties, like, right? Because they're all there supporting us. So
it is.
Yeah.
I think one of the difficulties, like even for myself in creating content is like, I feel like you can always be getting more. So when I'm in a moment, I'm like, oh God, I gotta record this. Like, I gotta record this. And then eventually I think the more you train yourself to be like, nah, like you've gotten it, like you're good, like just be there. I think then the muscle memory kind of kicks in of like you're good. You've gotten enough, you're good, you've gotten what you need to get. As opposed to that nagging voice that's saying, get more, get more, get more.
Yeah.
That's, I think, is like a little bit for me the balance of.
I think only content creators understand that though. Or if like you're your family's memory keeper. I've heard like a lot of moms refer to themselves as that, but.
Have you heard of 1 second every day? You ever heard of this?
Yes.
Have you?
No, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I've seen like the videos of people who did that for their kids, like as they were getting older.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Really
I was
cool.
like, you would thrive with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done it for 8 years now.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like at the end of every year to look back on that.
No, my friends always joke too. They're like, you know, you really love somebody because my love language is then I like make a video of like videos I've taken of you for like your birthday or for, you know, an anniversary or like something like that. So
you're just throwing it into Apple Photos and you're just saying like, make a photo memory of this. I'm just messing with you. It's more careful.
But I do have albums of like each person.
Yeah. By the person.
Because I kind of know, it's kind of like I'm almost, again, maybe the organization point, I'll know when I take a good video, and so I add it to their album. So I'm like, when I make their video, I'm going to have all there, ready to go.
One of the videos that you posted did outrageous numbers, and to put
I think I know which one you're
You know exactly
about.
which one it is. So you posted it in 2024. Do you remember what you said? You're standing on a boat, sunset.
No.
Okay.
I thought that you were going to say my labor vlog.
No, shifted. So this is an Instagram video that you posted.
Okay.
Okay, so here you go. So you're standing on a boat.
Yeah.
And this did, a lot of your videos have done numbers. This one did numbers.
Okay.
You're standing on a boat. You're leaned against the railing, seemingly sunset behind you. It says, get married young.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Get married young so you can be divorced and happy in your 30s. I know it's satirical, but I feel like the best jokes are rooted in some truth. What do you mean by get married young so you can be happy in your 30s?
I think I was kind of playing off of just, that's kind of been my journey, is I think my whole, again, being a cheerleader was like the first goal. Then the second goal was I wanted to get married and have kids. And I think I rushed that. And I didn't really think about what would make me happy in the long term. And kind of to the point earlier, sometimes when you make those mistakes, it does give you the opportunity to grow and reflect. And I'm really appreciative of the fact that I have a beautiful family, but I have learned a lot of lessons and realized I don't have to be a people pleaser to always make other people happy, that I can also make choices that make me happy too. So it's been a really transformative experience.
It has to be difficult to go through thinking someone is your quote unquote forever and then making the decision of recognizing actually they're not my forever. And having all ends, I mean, you couldn't get further apart as far as the ends of the gamut there. So to go through that has to be difficult. Yeah. What would be your piece of advice to someone who maybe is sitting there listening to this thinking like, I got my wedding in like 2 months and like maybe is uneasy about it?
Can I be brutally honest?
Yeah.
I would call it off. I think you have to follow your instinct. And if your gut is already questioning it, it's just going to get worse. And like worst case scenario, you call it off and maybe things get better and you grow a little more over time and you realize, you know what, you are my person, then you can get married a few years later. But if you're feeling that, don't do it. There's a reason.
Do you think...
You should know any person I know, and this is, again, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you as somebody who failed at a marriage, and I wish I would have listened to my gut. So that's my perspective. But people who I've talked to and really happy. I was just at a dinner the other day where they were celebrating their 47th wedding anniversary.
That's awesome.
And I was talking about it, and both of them have been so sure and grown together with that person that, like, that is why they're still happy laughing with each other across from the table at 47. So if you don't have that going into your wedding day and you're like, we're not getting along, or this doesn't even feel like the same person anymore, it's just going to get worse over the years.
Bri, for someone who maybe is on a different boat, saying like, I want to get married down the line, not even 2 months off, but maybe just eventually, again, being blunt about it.
Yeah.
You came in probably having non-negotiables, ended up with them, didn't meet your non-negotiables, nixade, right? For someone who needs to have non-negotiables so that they don't have the same result, what would be your advice in determining what those are?
Well, again, I'm speaking from my perspective and kind of where I'm at now. At 22 years old, who I was then was looking for a very different person than what I've now experienced in my life and what I'm looking for. So I think sometimes it does just come with that life experience and getting to know yourself really, really well. And not looking for somebody to complete you, but for you to be a complete, happy, healthy person on your own, so that then when you meet the other person and they're in the same boat, that's a good, healthy relationship.
Yeah, I think that through all the conversations that I've had, through people who are married, not married, were married, whatever the case may be, it's a specific knowing of where you want to end up. And this sounds horrible, but whether or not this person is going to fit into that and enhance it or not. And I don't mean for it to sound so inhumane, like they're a tool, but ultimately that kind of is what it is. Like, you are putting two pieces of a puzzle together, and so you can't just cram it together and make it fit if it doesn't.
Right, it should be the right
seamlessly.
Fit.
It has to be, and so that part's curious to me. Like, I'm kind of enamored that, I don't know, like you have gone through all of that and had both ends of it. Like, it's wild, right? Like, to be like at an all high and then, I mean, that's got to be so tough, like an all low.
Yeah.
For you to be able to put that video out there and say, like, just do it, get it over with, right? Like, that's great.
Well, because more than anything, I hope that was, again, satirical, but I hope that my story can encourage anybody to know that if you are miserable and if you're unhappy or if you're in a situation that isn't healthy, that there is always a solution. You can always have a fresh start. And I'm not trying to say anything negative about my kids yet. I'm just saying in any situation in life where you're like, I'm not happy at this job, or I'm not happy with the group of friends I have aren't treating me very well, or maybe you are just in a relationship, that's going through some difficulties. You can always have a fresh start and change your life and make it healthier and make a decision that's going to lead to you having happiness, and you deserve to have happiness. Like, I don't think we're put on this earth to suffer.
Right.
Yeah.
How have you found that this is this ag of a question, but how have you found that your life has altered for your happiness since making that difficult decision?
I think I realized how to be happy alone. I think I always thought that, kind of the Disney fairy tale, it was going to be like, you're happy because you got married and you had kids. And I never really stopped to think about what made just me happy. Mm-hmm. And as hard as it is being away from my kids, because we share 50-50 with them, that gave me the space to figure out, these are the hobbies you actually like, or this is some travel you've always really wanted to do that in the past I wasn't doing because I would take somebody else's opinion into consideration first, and I would just make the plan around the things that make them happy, or like the group that I was going with. I was such a people pleaser. And I'm actually happy that I kind of shed the people pleasing. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do what makes me happy. Like, I'll go do things alone if you know what I mean? If nobody else wants to join me, it's more fun. If there's somebody who's like, I want to do that too, but I'll go do it by myself. And I would never have done that in the past. Like, in my 20s, I was always like, nope, I've got to go with a group. I got to go with a friend. Or I got to
See, even still, you're still developing that confident piece that we were talking about. And that's really great. Like, it's amazing that each experience does that. Curious, too, on this one. Ready? So we always hear there's that whole idea the grass is greener. Okay, so a lot of people would say the grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
How did you know that the grass didn't need to be watered, or why did you, I guess in hindsight, you know that the grass is greener now on the other side.
Well, I think I can say this.
Yeah.
The way that it happened was I was watering the grass, I was fertilizing the grass, I was aerating the grass, I tried every kind of lawnmower. I did everything I could to make that grass green, and it was brown. So we just had to find a new lawn.
And I think that speaks to a great truth there. That speaks to a great truth. That's how I feel with situations. I always describe it as a candle. I'm like, I'm burning that thing out until there is no candle.
Yeah.
Like if there is still a wick there is potential for that thing to light and produce a beautiful flame.
Yeah.
And until there's nothing there, then you've exhausted all options. Yeah. Okay, it's gone. Next, the grass is brown. There's no grass, no more grass to water. Done.
Yeah.
That's a tough reality.
Yeah. But like, we have 3 beautiful children, and there will always be respect and a love there for the 3 best gifts I was ever given.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Another aspect.
We just did have 2 different lawns, that's all.
Yeah, now that you have your green lawn and you found all these hobbies, I think you're one of those people who's a proponent of buy the ticket, hop on the plane, go do the trip. Like you post content like that I've seen.
Yeah. Do you want to know one of the funnest things I did in my divorce that I always think like maybe I should either, whether it's like write a book or make like a movie script about it, because it just was always the funniest adventures, is I purposefully picked every month of the year when the kids are with their dad for a long weekend, a trip I went on my own.
That's cool.
And what ended up happening is sometimes friends would join the trip because they would like hear where I was going. Or I would go by myself and like, I'd just be sitting in a bar and a group of people would be like, do you want to join our table? And it would turn into this like crazy adventure. So it was just kind of this fun little year. Yeah.
That's a great idea. That's creative.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to experience the world very intimately when you do it by yourself. You end up like, I'm such a believer that we do things that we don't typically do in order to grow in ways that we don't typically grow. If you do the same thing, rinse and repeat, you're never going to see anything different about yourself or anything differently about the world.
Yeah.
And like, how do you ever expect yourself to have that green grass that you want, that perfect, the perfect life that you want? Yeah. You can have it. Like, there's no reason why not.
There's no reason. If somebody else in the world is doing it, there's no reason why you can't.
Now, Bri, as a mom of 3, how are you balancing that? Just by using those weekends? Like, would that be your... Yeah, okay.
And, like, I'm really appreciative because whenever we've kind of... Even times when I'm like, I want to take the kids to Hawaii for a month, we work that out where, he'll get extra time other days or other weekends. So I appreciate that he allows me to still have adventures.
All right, maybe this is the book title. I think it's like Bits of Bri encouraging others to be bits of themselves. Like, that's how... I've not really gotten
If I've done that, honestly, that I can die a happy woman.
You've totally done that.
Yeah.
That's the community that you've built. So I think that would be what the book is about. I just don't have like a cool, catchy title for it yet, but that's ultimately, I think, the crux of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
I feel like that's right?
Yeah,
I feel like
no, it makes me feel really good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Bri, what do you see as kind of the end game for you, for the business?
End game for me, just help as many women as possible through my work, whether that's through YouTube, whether it's through books eventually, or whether it's through person-to-person interactions or any workplace that I'm a part of, any team that I'm a part of. I just hope that I can be as helpful as I can be and help others realize the best way to use their gifts too, because I know for me, the reason that I sort of realized what my gifts were is because I had other women point it out, or other women encourage it, or other women cheer me on, or we talked about all the wonderful messages and comments even that would keep me going. So I think women collaborating and women empowering and supporting other women is what I want to continue to do, and encourage more people kind of to join in that too.
That's clearly your work superpower. We talk about this work superpower. That's clearly yours. It's been a staple in all of the career moves that you've made. It's been a staple in you as a mom, telling them like, hey, only listen to advice from people who have actually been in the shoes that you want to be in. I mean, that is clearly your work superpower, or just personal superpower. Forget work, but like given the sense of talking business end game.
Yeah. And I think too, I would say one addition to the end game is I hope that I can use all of the business skills that I've acquired to do some really cool philanthropy work. Because, not gonna lie, when I heard that Taylor Swift just goes on the same kind of thing I did as a teacher and will be like totally funded. I'm like, I want to do that for other teachers, or like even when I was in college, like I just want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to just be like, nope, I've got the means and I'm going to help, and you don't need to know who I am, but I just want to do it.
How cool is that? I've never heard that about that. Yeah. That's awesome.
GoFundMe roulette, I think is what it.
That's fascinating. What is it about helping people that strikes you so close to home?
That's the only reason I'm where I am. If people didn't help me, I wouldn't have gone to college. I wouldn't have gotten any of the things. I wouldn't have traveled any of the places that I got to travel to. I wouldn't have had career opportunities that I got. So.
Doesn't make you like so appreciative.
Appreciative.
I look back at that too when you start thinking about the people that have influenced your life so greatly.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Yeah.
One of the people whose lives you've influenced gave me 3 words that I want to read to describe you. Ready?
Okay.
The 3 words from a dear friend of you and mine, about his dear friend. Number 1, tenacious. Number 2, indomitable. And number 3, with a specific emoji with 3 little gold lusters next to it.
It's my favorite emoji.
Glitter-like.
Okay.
How do you feel hearing that?
I love that. There's a quote I have on one of my vision boards in my closet that's, I want to be the human version of a disco ball and just shine light on everybody and bring them out of any dark period they might be feeling. So that's perfect.
That is. Yeah, I was like, those 3 words I think anyone would take. Who wouldn't want those 3 words, right? Like, yeah, you bring light, you don't give up. I mean, these are words that everyone should aspire for. In turn, I'm curious, Bri, what are the 3 words that you would hope are used to describe your children when they're in these shoes?
Oh my gosh. Generous. Kind of to that point where it's like, I want them to always be thinking like, I'm doing this so that I can pay for everybody else's dinner, so that I can bring people on a trip that they would have never gotten to go on before. So generous. I think I would want them to have optimism. Optimistic would be the word, of that they know even through something really hard, they're going to be able to get through it. It's going to get better. We all go through hard things, but there's something really good, better than you can imagine waiting on the other side. And I think loving. I think this world is, needing all the love that it can get. So I hope that my 3 children can one day be described as like they were a really loving, kind, caring person. They really tried to see the best in everybody, but also could see when somebody maybe was going through a hard time and just needed a little more tender, loving care. So
taps right into that generosity piece too. Yeah. Generous, optimistic, and loving. I think a lot of times about decisions, and I'm like, when would this be a decision that would lend her towards having a full funeral? There's 2 parts to that. Number 1, I want to die before all the people that I love. So hopefully I don't really care to be here after everyone else is still here, number 1, right? And number 2, if you have a packed church at your funeral day, I feel like you've done something that clearly has impacted the lives of others. If you're an optimistic, generous, and loving person, that is a full church.
I would agree.
Yeah, not that it's a competition by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just showing that people are going to grieve and be there and support you literally to the bitter end.
Yeah.
If you've moved someone like that, that's telling.
Yeah.
We have a closing litany, Bri. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
The first one, and this you've touched on throughout, but the first one is that I believe people who live with gratitude on their minds and act on it live a better life than those who do not, point blank. What role, Bri, does gratitude play in your life?
Oh, it's a daily, not even that, multiple times throughout the day. Even when something is hard, I say thank you for it. Like, thank you for that lesson. Or thank you for showing me who that person really was. Even though it might have really hurt my feelings. Thank you for showing me who they were. Yeah, I'm just constantly, but more often I'm looking at all the good things.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I'm thankful for.
You know that the bad things are leading to the good anyway. It's getting you where you need to be.
Truly.
Second one kind of ties into it. Do you have any regrets in your life, Bri? And if so, what have they taught you?
So I know a lot of people will say, well, I have no regrets because then I wouldn't be where I am. But I think I will, to the point you said earlier. I do regret that maybe in my early 20s that I didn't focus more on figuring myself out, because then maybe I wouldn't have hurt, I think we both hurt each other, right? Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes I think about that. Then I wouldn't have my kids, right? So...
Yeah, you can't start doing the trade-off thing. That's when it's difficult.
It's like the butterfly effect. Your brain kind of starts going for a loop. But
I think there's...
to that person, though, maybe who is 22, and I put myself, you know what I mean? If somebody's listening, I hope that I can say that so that that person doesn't have regrets about it. Because I can't have regrets. I've got my 3 kids. But maybe if somebody else doesn't have any regrets.
And you're here where you are now, which is... Yeah. I think if you could do the both and, it's like, I wish I hadn't hurt anyone and have the situation I have now. And
you want to something really wild?
Yeah.
Again, this is kind of, everybody's beliefs are different, but my kids asked me, just because of it all, they were like, oh, do you wish that you'd waited to marry somebody else? And I was like, well, then I wouldn't have you. And my daughter said this to me. She goes, well, I still would have found you. She's like, I was still supposed to be your daughter, didn't marry. Adorable. So it's kind of, I don't know if you kind of believe in it. It's like, well, if certain souls are supposed to come to us, maybe it still would have been her, but just in a different form. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot to think about. It gets real deep.
Stuff right there.
But.
That is adorable, though. I mean, clearly loves you.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't know that, but.
Yeah. And then my baby, when you talked with them about these kind of things, my dad, he's the only one who didn't meet my dad. My dad passed away the year before I got pregnant with him.
Sorry.
And something along these lines of I'm so lucky you chose me to be your mom. And that's like I said to him. And he goes, well, Papi told me to pick your door. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, Papi told me to pick your door. And he's also said that, my dad was in there. He's like, before I came out, Papi was in there.
That's mind-blowing. Yeah.
But, I mean, when kids are that young and they haven't had the full understanding of everything, and they'll say these things, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's so raw that it hasn't been, affected by...
Kind of people believe in the veil theory, they're still close to the veil where they might have some memories of things.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's going to stick with me. I'm going to be thinking about that, Bri, as throughout the next couple of weeks here. The third question for you, Bri.
Yeah.
This is something that you nail, by the way. I'm so excited for your response from this. What is on your calendar that you're looking forward to?
Oof.
And the reason I ask is because I believe that having things on your calendar that you're looking forward to creates an excitement just about life and an appreciation for what is to come.
Oh my God, I so agree. And I also feel like you should put things on your calendar that maybe aren't official, mm-hmm. and they happen way faster.
What do you mean by that? Why would they happen faster?
Because I think you're putting it out there for, again, if you believe God, higher power, and it's in your brain, it tricks your brain that it's already it's on there, so it's gonna happen.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Back to that again, manifestation, prayer piece of it. You start doing things that will make it so that happens.
Yeah, because wild thing, 2 years ago, I put on my vision board a thing of the pyramids, because I've always wanted to go to the pyramids. I've been obsessed with Egyptian culture since I was a kid. I used to write things in hieroglyphics. It's just always been a thing. But I put my vision board as I just threw it on there well, you always wanted to go. There was a picture in the magazine, so I did it. Totally random, got an opportunity. There was a conference in Dubai, and the flight going back went through Cairo, saw the pyramid, literally had a few hours and saw the pyramids, got back on the plane and left. But
that's how things work.
That's what I mean. You put it out there, something just kind of connects the dots of you put it out there.
I think when you're doing things that are good for you too, when you're in that flow state, things just jive.
Yeah.
Like that. It's the good just keeps happening, it compounds onto each other because you're already doing the good and it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
It's that bountiful notion of just you deserve bounty and goodness. That's what happens, right? All right, so what's on your calendar?
Well, the biggest thing
on there.
Yeah, me and the kids legitimately look forward to is going back to Hawaii since we lived there for a bit. So very excited for that. And then also gonna do a Europe trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what part? Is that this year?
Paris and I think Capri.
It's going to be beautiful. Yeah. Man, I'm excited for you guys. When is that?
On September.
Oh, yeah. So you got some great coming up. A lot of travel, right? What is it for you that
I'm actually going, my global entry appointment is this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great. I don't even know if you need
You'll
for
be
that.
great.
Yeah, it's going to be good. What do you even do for that? I don't even know.
I don't know either. I mean,
Yeah.
I had the TSA, but I guess this is like the
Yeah. You get the
make it
card,
easier for-
global entry card with your
Yeah.
picture on it. You're like
guess.
right on the camera. It's like that's how it goes. What is it, Brie, about travel that you love so much?
So I'm not sure. You're going to have to look into this if there's an actual scientific study, because I don't ever like saying like, oh, this is like science fact unless it truly is. But I've seen multiple posts that you actually grow more from a trip than you do from, I don't know how many months of therapy, but a significant amount of time of therapy. And that's kind of, I think, why I have that feeling, because I think it always pushes me to grow faster. I learn new things. I meet new people that tell me things that I never would have either heard about or thought to go do, or even food to try. And so I love that. I feel like being put out of your comfort zone just pushes you so much and helps you grow so much faster.
It's so true. It's like a total world shock.
Yeah.
And when you're shocked, just like any of that cold plunge idea, when you're shocked, your body figures it out very quickly.
Yeah. And I mean, there's kind of a thing to it too. People say if you're feeling lost in your actual day-to-day world, travel is the best way for you then to actually clear your mindsets of thinking about, well, what time do I like to wake up, or where would I, like, what kind of restaurant do I want to eat at, or what kind of workouts would I want to do in my day-to-day. And sometimes it's the greatest way to reset yourself when you return from the vacation, to be like, okay, no, this is what I want to incorporate in my everyday life.
It's so good.
Yeah.
For everyone out there, buy the ticket, right? Buy the ticket.
Buy the
Both
ticket.
the concert ticket and the plane ticket.
I might come with you. I'm easily persuaded.
You got a group of 4 now. It keeps going.
You know, have you ever gotten sent those reels where it's like you'll get $1 million if the person agrees to go on the trip with you? And like my friends will send them to me all the time because they know I'm the one who'd be like,
Yeah, you're like, I'm in. Yeah, exactly. Get that. I know. Those are some of the best friends too. Like, you need those. Brie, when you're laying down at night and you've had one of these full days, or even when you're not, but any night when you lay down and you're reflecting on the day that you just had, what is it that you hope to have brought to the world that day?
happiness and just leaving people feeling at peace too. Like if people feel peace and happiness because of something I did or something I was able to share.
Yeah. Again, leaving things better than you found it. My final question for you, Brie, as we tie this all in, do you have any piece of advice that you would offer to a specific sector of the audience or to the audience abroad? Kind of your closing thoughts.
If God has put something on your heart that you really, really want to do, pray about it and ask for Him to give you the sign or to give you the answer of whether or not to do it. Do that. So
You got to act on it then.
Yeah.
When you get that sign, you got to take it and run with it. Brie, you're a bundle of joy. I appreciate having you here. Thank you so much for spending the time with me and for our audience. I mean, this has been an incredible conversation. Thanks for working through all the logistics with me and picking this amazing backdrop that we've had.
We had the prettiest
for episode
sunset.
81. I mean, it's unbelievable that we've been sitting here doing
I hope
this.
everybody enjoyed it in the background.
Yeah, watch it and seeing the good time. If you're in Cleveland, you haven't been on the good time, I don't know what the heck you're waiting for. But seriously. So, Brie, again, I can't thank you enough. This has been incredible.
And you asked very thoughtful questions. You're very, very good at interviewing.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. Thanks. It's a growth, and I'm grateful to do it for people that are worth asking like you. So thanks for being here.
Yeah.
To our audience, all of Brie's links will be in the description below or in the pinned comment if you are on YouTube. If you haven't yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit the subscribe button. We keep delivering you these top-tier conversations. Again, I'm your host, Joe Clark, signing off with episode 81 of Chats with Clark. Thanks for listening.